Oh, we're gonna be getting ourselves in. Oh, we want to quiet down. You don't want to wake people up while you're baking at night. The last thing you want to do. So now that we got our lovely mix in there, actually I'm going to throw on our little extra light here, but don't worry, it's an IR light, so nobody's going to see it. So we're going to be working this dough. There you go. So our time right now is about 9:49 prime baking hours, and we're going to be running this for about 4 to 5 minutes or so. So now that's starting to slow down, you can see the dough starting to come together. You're going to speed that bitch right up. Perfect. You know what that is right there, folks? That's dough. So, calling upon the recipe back over here. Yeah, it's gonna talk about our toppings. We just passed our step 1. Excellent. So we're gonna go and lightly oil a mid-sized bowl with olive oil. That way we can throw the dough in there once it's all set. So dough's nice and happy, going hard. 9:50, so we got a few minutes. Gonna grab our bowl, appropriate bowl out from here. Move our water aside. Fucking oven looks a little different. Anyway, gonna grab our olive oil. Now you only want to use the premium stuff here, folks. So whatever you can find yourself at a BJ's or a Costco, you know exactly that's as premium as you need. So just a little bit of oil in there, just a little bit. Gives a nice coating, helps out the crust. As you can see, our dough's coming together nice and well. Getting beat worse than me than childhood. So 9:51. We need about 2 more minutes on this guy. Dough hook's doing its job, so I guess in the meantime, what we can do is we can start cleaning up. Take our lovely instant yeast. We're gonna take that, put that back in the bag. Make sure our dough over there ain't doing anything that we don't want it to do. All right, good. So, gonna do this. Ready for a flashbang? Nah, it's a Photonis, folks, so it's not gonna get fucked up. All right, back to the show. What else can go? See, it sounds like it's struggling against itself, but it's really not. What's happening right now is not really grabbing a lot because the dough's condensed itself pretty well. So it's about 1 more minute. We are gonna take our excess water here and we're gonna pour it out. Clean hands, folks. That's a sign of an awful baker. So, gonna close that down. Focus this guy back up because we want to make sure we're focused on the mission. Dough's nice and together. You want to knead it a little bit in your hands. We're going to make sure you hold it out at a very odd angle so that you can keep the focus in your very small field of view. Right now, what we're doing here is fucking around. So we're going to take our bowl, we're going to put that over here on the very odd looking oven top, and we are going to work this into a nice smooth ball. So the dough's coming together nice and well right between our hands. And there you go, take a look at that. That right there, that's a slab bowl looking dough. Pop that guy in, spin it around. Coat the actual bowl. You got your oil set up. We're gonna take this guy, put him right over here. Get a little cloth on that guy, rise for an hour. See you then. Gotcha. That is now very fluffy. Got some rise to it. Normally, we want to get about an hour or so, but brother, I'm eepy as hell, so we are gonna try to speed this shit up. So what you're gonna do now, to give you some actual instruction, you have your Pyrex dish. Very similarly, we are going to, just like our bowl, take a little bit of olive oil and just give it a little coating, a small little coating. And we're lining that because that's not only going to be our non-stick, but just like the coating in there, it's going to help out with the crust on the final product. So, very important to know what your ingredients do and how they interact with each other. That is a very big principle of baking. Knowing how your different flours react with water, knowing how your different temperatures are going to make your dough rise just a little bit differently. All part of the process, all part of the knowledge. So, now we're going to very similarly take salt, but instead of doing that, we're actually going to use our handy dandy salt shaker. Coming into focus. Bring this bad boy over. So, we are salting the bottom, part of the seasoning process. Sure as hell hope I'm aiming right, or I'm going to have to clean a fuck ton of salt off my stove. Nature of the beast. A lot of very fast motion going on here, so I'm going to slow it down for you. Want to make sure you guys aren't, having a stroke or anything. So here's where we're at. Olive oil and salt in the pan. We are going to be taking our dough here. I'm going to walk myself up, make sure the focus is good. I want you guys to see this in high definition 4K. So we have our lovely dough here. We're going to put a big old handprint in there like we are Sauron putting the white hand onto an urukai. we're going to flop that guy, a little bit of dribble, and money. So there you have it. You're going to take your lovely appendages here, and you're going to spread this dough out into your Pyrex. Doing two things. We are pushing the gas out that has just formed from our dough, and we are also now shaping it to our pan. A very essential thing. So the next steps that are going to follow is we are going to wait an additional 20-30 minutes. We're going to let this puff back up. Then we're going to come back in. We're going to give it a little bit of an oil coating on the top. We're going to push our fingers in, add a little bit of air pockets. We're going to add our toppings, put it in the oven. So the things you're going to not see is I'm going to be preheating the oven about 10 minutes here, and then I'll be right back with you guys. All right, we're back at it for the last, or second to last part. Up to the right temperature, 475 for my oven at least, normally 450, but ours runs a little colder. So here we are, nice blurry dough, but as you can see it has puffed up a little bit. Yeah, we have our spices and our main ingredients. So like I said, we are going to be using our oil. And then we're going to be putting some salt on there, a little bit of garlic powder, and a little bit of rosemary. Making it simple, making it easy, not trying to get too complex, especially because, brother, I am falling asleep so bad so that I said Sauron says Saruman. Somebody's going to castrate me later. So taking our fingers here, I'm actually going to have to focus it in. So taking your fingers, and we are dimpling the dough. These little pockets are actually going to be really useful for us because they're going to take the oil we're about to drizzle, give it a place to go. That way it's not going to all beat into one little spot. You're going to take your finger up and over the container here, and you're going to be nice and slow, just an even little drizzle up and over. Trust me, the dough has plenty of oil already. You don't need to go too overboard. So then you're going to take your salt, and you're going to, just like before, give it a nice little coating. Good enough. And we got our looser side. And we have this last ingredient. Probably one of my favorite ingredients, rosemary. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And yes, I did cheat. I used my naked eye to see this shit before I placed it out because I am not going to try to work through my entire collection of spice over there. Under night vision. Doable, but you ain't worth it. So, you have your focaccia. Doesn't look like much. Looks like a moonly shaped blob under the PVS 14, but here we are. So here are normally black gloves, Lao Kingdom special. These are nice and awful under IR, which is wonderful for me because I can actually see the damn things. We're going to take our bread. We're going to open our oven nice and warm, put it up on that burst rack, slide it into place, close her up, set our timer for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, we are going to flip that, and I'll be right back with you. The final product. We're rolling. So here we are, that final stage. Chime for me. Thank you. Turn that shit off. Don't want to wake people up. God damn. So anyway, gloves back on, oven off. Nice middle finger. Woo! Nice and clouded up, steamed up. Look at that. What we have here might come to shock you. Might be unexpected. So that ain't gonna help me. Yep, as you can see, bread.